actually, one of the things that's most disconcerting about this whole what happens to me, and this may not happen to everybody, but is when I'll watch clips from the news, or I'll watch podcasts they have guests on that are really smart, educated people that have worldviews that are so different than mine,
Yep.
like to where I don't even understand. We don't even see the same reality. Like we could never ever agree or talk. We could never come to a consensus on anything because their worldview is so crazy. And these are
Mm.
people that I know exist for reality. There's congressmen, there's senators,
Yeah.
there's scientists, they're educators in school. These are real people. These are not AI generated. They're not made up. They're not faking what they're saying. They are literally on watching, millions of people are watching them, and they're saying things that are so outlandish and so crazy compared to
Yeah.
what I believe the world. So it makes me feel kind of crazy. Like, am I crazy? It's even with my Christian faith. If you're going to read books and listen to podcasts and watch TV and look at movies and look at social media and do anything, you're going to encounter people that have such a worldview that is so different than you, as far as just even in the aspect of believing in God and trusting in God and believing that God is truth, that there's objective truth in life, that there's objective morality. They don't believe in that at all. And they're
Mm.
real people. And it really confronts you. And I guess that's why you need the Bible. That's why you need the church. And that's why, again and again, I'm pushed back into the family of God, to friends like you, brothers like you, and sisters in Christ, the Bible, because we're surrounded by people that don't believe what we believe and don't hold the same values at all. I'll be watching an interview with somebody, a real person, that is saying the most racist things I've ever heard of in my entire life. Like things that when we were kids, we were taught like, okay, wait, we're all human beings. You shouldn't judge someone based on their race and their color, right? But now it's like people talk like that. They say the most racist things that they would, when I was a kid, they would be, nobody would accept that. But now they say it all the time. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? Are people really feeling that? When I go outside and I see people from different races, do they really hate me like that? Makes you scared. Makes you wonder, like, I don't know if that's real. And so you're like, what's going on with that? So it makes you feel a sense of unreality. Like you're just unhinged, and you're the only person out there, like you said, like you're all alone, but you're not all alone.
Mhm.
But that's what it does, and I wonder the benefit of being involved in it at all. But if we're not involved in it, who's gonna tell somebody about Jesus? You feel I'm talking about Jesus and that he saved us and that he died for us, and we can be forgiven our sins. Hopefully, somebody out there will. I know God will reach somebody with that. That needs to hear it. That's
Well,
it.
you're not alone. You're not alone, and neither am I. The part of the disconnect there are the people that feel the other way are the loudest.
Maybe you're
You
right.
know, I mean,
Yeah,
think about it. Most people that are just keeping their head down, trying to get through life, trying to have a happy life, trying to have a comfortable life, trying to raise their family in peace, set up some money or get situated, get comfortable, and they're focused on peace and love and God and all that stuff. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, oh, Christians or people that believe in God, we're all the best and all. I'm saying people that feel this way, that are pursuing these things in life, we're not always the loudest. We're not the people online going, ah, but
right.
the people that whine and cry and bitch and moan and groan and complain, they're all over. They're on every platform. They're in
That's
every
true.
comment box. I mean, just this is my guilty thing, and I do suggest you just leave it alone for a little while, man. Just who cares?
Sure,
And
I
nothing's
will.
gonna change. You go back 30 days and you just go right back to the same crap.
No,
It's
right,
and your life
right.
won't change. This is what you'll come to the realization where you realize it's all nonsense is that when you give the 30-day detox, your life won't change. Nothing will happen. All the stuff you were fearful of, anxious of, worried about, none of that. Your life is going to be exactly the same as it was, minus the negative emotions that social media gives you. But I mean, I'm guilty of. I get in the comments and I just want to see where people are at, like how they feel. It's part of the reason why I'm always like, email me, shoot me an email. Let me know how you're feeling. I'm curious about my brothers and sisters, not just
Me
in
too.
Christ, but just in general. I want to get a sense of how the world is. I think that with the online thing and after COVID, a lot of people don't really associate with each other. A lot of people don't have a lot of friends. So how do you gauge the world other than just seeing the people that make reels, the people that make clips, people make videos? Because most of these people are motivated by money. So that means if they gotta inspire fear, if they gotta lie, if they gotta manipulate, whatever they gotta do, they're putting out clickbait for likes and all this different thing. They don't care if that you ruin your day. They don't care if you've seen something disturbing and now you're upset. They don't care. In fact, they love that because it means
Yeah.
you watched the whole video. You might have clicked down, like whatever, and that's how it is. But yeah, man, I mean, how else are we supposed to gauge the world? And my thing is, I gauge the comments. And man, let me tell you something. There's some incredibly sick individuals out there,
Yeah,
and
man.
but the thing with that is, are they even real? Are they bots? You don't even know, and that's
Mhm.
why it's best to just unplug. It's best to just unplug
Well,
and
I
focus
learned
on the
this
center
lesson
and expand from there.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I didn't mean to. But
No, I'm done. I was done.
years ago, I knew this anyways. And years ago, Howard Stern, you've heard of Howard Stern, right? In his radio show.
Yeah, sellout, Howard.
Yeah, well, but back in the day, he was the guy that fight against the machine kind
Yep,
of guy.
that's when I listened to him
Yeah,
back in the
and
day.
he made a movie called Private Parts, and I wouldn't suggest any kids watch it,
No, no, no.
but it was actually a very pretty funny movie. And I'll tell you something. One of the aspects of the movie that was really interesting was there was these people that wanted to get him off the air, and these were these powerful executives, and they were talking, and they had this meeting, and this when he was getting really popular, and the guy said, "Well," they said, "what are people saying about him? Why are they watching this guy?" And they said, "Well, half the people that love him say they say the main thing they can't wait to hear what he's going to say next." And they said, "Well," they go, "what about the millions of people that hate him?" They say the exact same thing. The reason
Yeah,
they
yeah.
watch him is because they can't wait to see what he's going to say next.
And they watch longer than the people that liked
Yes,
them. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
exactly. That's the reality.
It is.
And I knew that 20 years ago. But yet, like for instance, I'll confess something. I got the Act Social, and I scrolled through it, but there's a part of me, there's a part of my sinful nature. I think my flesh. It's not. It's like I'm flipping through and it says nice things, and there's nothing. It's not clicking my mind. It's not clicking the adrenaline button.
Well,
It's
it's
not.
just like if you watch a movie, you can't watch all Christian movies,
No, it's
or
not.
all. Music.
It's not getting the juices flowing. Now,
Yeah,
how do I get the juices flowing without consuming completely ridiculous material that's not any beneficial? Because I really, that's another aspect of Christianity that's interesting for me. And I don't know, I don't ever heard anybody else talk about it. So it may just be my crazy nature. Because, we all got our weirdness.
sure,
But one thing that about Christianity that has been difficult for me, that's kind of wanted to pull me away sometimes, is my intellectual is boredom. I
sure.
mean, look at the Bible is not boring. And there's the most deepest intellectual concepts, philosophical ponderings in the Bible than any place in the world. So it's my fault, not the Bible's fault. But like when I've excluded my focus to complete just the Bible, and just sermons, I get my mind gets bored. I need other stimulus. I
Sure.
need something to compare it against. And I feel like, where's the line there? Because I feel like if we're going to be Christians, then we have to take what we learn in our faith, and we have to go into the world with it, like you said, and shine our light, and juxtapose our position against the position of the devil, so we
Mm-hmm.
can have so we can show the truth. And but at the same time, we don't want to get embroiled in the mire of the world, the dirt. So it's like, but when I exclude my focus too narrowly into Christianity, I start to become stale. I just read the Bible and I'll start. It won't mean as much to me. It doesn't come alive until I start to compare it to what the world says. To what till I start to put it up against falseness. But when I'm just in Christian thought and I just surround myself with people saying the same stuff, there's no there's no conflict, but at the same time there's no progression. There's no like light doesn't come on. I don't get excited. I don't get the juices flowing, and I have to. I'm not saying do anything sinful, but I am saying I want to. I gotta have this influence where I can take what I know as the truth against what's false. And when you do that, there's an element of danger to get wrapped up in it, right?
Sure.
So yeah, I find that been the bored. Sometimes I get bored, like especially just if I'm just watching Christian movies.
Sure.
Some of them are really not that good. I mean, they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying the message is bad. I'm saying the acting and some of the stuff is not isn't that good. I wonder sometimes if they should even make them if they're gonna be so not interesting. Maybe they shouldn't even make them. Maybe they should try to do something else. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately for us, I think that there has been some really great Christian
There has
content
been
to
an
come out in the
increasingly.
last few years. We've
You're
talked
right.
about Lee Strobel, A Case for Christ. You
Yeah, you're
know,
right.
the David series is one that I really like, and there's a lot more. But I think that you are right I'm going to speed things up real quick. I have two more topics I want to reach in the
Sure.
next 10 or 15 minutes, but I think one thing that you mentioned is boredom, and I don't care how exciting your life is. I think we all experience it. I think that some people don't even notice they experience it. So I'd like to challenge you to pay attention next time you do something sinful. Pay attention next time you do something that is completely frivolous. That's just I don't know. It might take 5 minutes, it might take 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Maybe it is scrolling social media. Um, and realize that that time being bored uh, is where the devil kind of puts his foot in the door. They say the devil idle hands is the devil's playground, and I don't really have an answer for this. I still get bored. I think it doesn't matter how exciting your life is, you do. I think practicing meditation and mindfulness, enjoying the moment even when nothing's happening, is very
Yeah.
important, and also structuring your day very rigorously. I think being busy is a good thing. I don't think, I'm flying around crazy and it's chaotic. I don't think that's a good thing, but I think very disciplined structure of what you're doing and time management at what time so that you're present during it because you scheduled the time. You're not worrying about anything else. Okay, I'm going to do this at this time, this that time. And it has to be it could be a rough thing, but it's something that I do daily. And the days that I slide off it because I'm slacking on my discipline or I'm being lazy are the days that I have bad days. So
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
it all comes down to the balance. I mean, I'm glad that you came to that point. It doesn't wrap this show up. There's really no wrapping of this topic up, especially without bringing in more people. So, please hit me up, creating greatness podcast at Gmail, lowercase. But I think the most important point of it is being in the world and not of it. You can't exclude yourself to only Christian content. You can't go live in a cave. I mean, you could, but how's that really benefiting anyone? So we have to live in this world, understand this world. And part of that is by being online and going out into the world and seeing things that we don't necessarily agree with, but not of it. We have to always come back to our rock. We have to always come back to our faith. We have to always come back to God's truth so that we may go out into the world, take part in it, but not get distracted by it or too immersed in it so that we can get caught up in the sinful things that we've been talking about. Two last things. And it could be short. It may be stuck because this is something we're still working on. So maybe you don't even have an answer for it because I don't even know if I have an answer for it. Is
Sure.
uh, how do we console ourselves to this evil that we perceive, and how do we have faith and let go and understand that God got it. You know, he's all powerful. Like, I get frustrated with myself, and I think you do as well. And I believe that there's probably some Christians that can relate to this. And I'll tell a quick story how to make it like a life experience.
Right.
Now, I've been talking to Tony on the sidelines. We've been talking about all this good stuff, you know, how to stay present, how to stay mindful, how to stay firm in our faith, and how to stay positive, you know, how to just stay positive and you know, move forward in life with clarity and joy and presence of mind. And I'm giving them all this good stuff. But meanwhile, hey, man, I'm a human being as well. Like I just said, I'm susceptible to boredom as well. I'm susceptible to fear, anxiety, and as much as I would love to say I never experienced these things, I can't. So I'm here in Tennessee, and something that I noticed is something very worrisome to me. You know, I talk about it a lot. I'm a fan of Tucker Carlson. I watch his videos. I don't agree with 100% with everything he says, but I appreciate the way that he brings different perspectives to light. And I'll be honest, and you can take it what you want. I probably agree with about 95% of the stuff he says. So, you know, people can take with that and do with what they want. But he did a special about geoengineering and weather modification and the spraying of the skies. It's been happening in America and all over the world. You could call me a conspiracy theorist, but you'd be wrong because there's laws against it. It's been proven that this is happening. They're doing it in the sake of, for the sake of climate change. But what it is they're spraying these cloud dispersing. You know, it sits in the air and disperses, and it's nanoparticles, it's aluminum, it's some called baronium or something. I could be wrong with the pronouncement of that, but what it is it's toxic chemicals. They're known carcinogens.